If you had offered me 1-0 yesterday, I'd have shook your hand then and there. If you'd offered me 2-0, I'd have shook your hand. If you offered me 7-0, I'd still be shaking your hand right now. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Look at the chat already, man. I love this chat. Evening, everybody.
The grand reveal's coming in a couple of minutes, so
hope you're doing well, guys. Welcome to Happy Old Reds. Happy Old Reds today. I mean, we should have had 7 on the panel. We were going to kick off. The intro was going to be, it's 7 o'clock and 7 seconds. And Rob was late. You're right, Rob?
Let us all down.
He hasn't come off mute yet, has he?
Yeah, I'm off mute now.
He's not even
finishing a Windows update. Sorry about that. Anyway.
Blaming
Windows. Windows 7. Yeah, that would be one.
Windows 95.
Right. Well, Rob, we're going to start just very quickly with you. I'm sure that due to the hand gestures in there, some people want to talk about stuff. So, guys, please don't forget to hit the like button. Let us know you've shaken hands with the like button by clicking that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new. Shout out to Seb for the £5. Seb, Rob, would you kindly read out this super chat?
Rob got recognised at the game and had a semi from before the first goal went in. Also, Rob prefers Lidl's to Aldi's because of the bakery section. That's true, actually.
What, the semi? The semi?
Well, no, I don't know what he means. Is that like some Americanism for eating like a half a Subway or
something? I don't know what it means.
It means you're halfway to have an erection, Rob.
Oh, dear. That's crude. That's crude. I thought it was something to do with... Anyway, move on.
I meant a building outside your home.
Rob, I'll give you an example. When Wolfie said that everyone's making hand gestures in the chat towards you, that means they were calling you a wanker, which in this case was...
all right, thanks for demonetizing this within like 30 seconds.
Tell him off.
It's 2 minutes 20. It's 2 minutes 20. I was counting down.
Tell him off.
So
I got told off for chewing my glasses now, so I don't know whether I'm allowed to have my glasses or not. So
you get told off left, right, and center.
No, leave me alone.
Wear them.
Let's just put them on or put them down, man. I mean, what's the big deal? Thank you, Seb, for the £5. And Forest till I die with 1.5 years. Absolute legend. Thank you so much, buddy. All right, chat. Where do you want to start? Do we want to go through how heroic our boys were? I can't see any comments, man, because it's all hand gestures. Alejandro, thank you for the gifted, bro. And that's gone to Mad Murphy. Make sure you say thank you to Alejandro. If you want us to start with the handshake, let us know with some emojis. Stubber, how you doing? It was nice to meet you all outside the fan zone. Wolfie, I don't know if you remember, but when you were worried, I told you that you'd be a good luck charm. You were right, bro. You're 100. I wasn't worried. I was just making sure that Ant and Ez and the rest of the boys stayed focused on our task in hand.
He was still worried at 4-0 up. He was still worried.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
No, it's not.
I was still worried at 5. Let's get it right. Still worried at 5.
See what I did there.
Yeah, but we got to shout out everyone. We met so many people yesterday. It's so humbling.
Hey, we met Frank's car. I don't know if he knows.
Yo, and then Lewis McGugan walked past. We didn't even notice until as you said that picture. But yeah, no, shout out to everyone. Shout out to Matt SB and to Sophie. They were just lovely to chill with. And Matt from Forest all over. Yes. I think I hugged him more times than I've hugged my daughter, man, in her lifetime in that one night. And shout out to Elliot as well. We had a good chat with Elliot. Make sure you show him some love on Twitter if you're on there, Premier Elliot.
In general, there was a lot of hugging going on yesterday, wasn't there?
Do you know what?
A lot of people, and there's a lot of hugging going off.
Well, not right. I know this sounds entitled, right? And I don't really want to talk much because of my voice. But like, you know how? Because for those who don't, me, Anne, and Ez were sitting together in the Upper Trent. Crypto, where were you? I keep forgetting. Were you in B block?
I was upper Brian Clough.
Upper Cloughie.
Right in the middle of L block.
Same upper Brian Clough B block.
Oh, were you near Crypto?
No, I was in the safe standing area because I like to be safe.
Oh, you haven't been too far from Martin then. And then who else did we have? Nikki. Someone was in B block. Was it Nikki?
Nikki was in B block.
That was it. Nikki was in
Hang on a second. Nikki left after the first goal to go and get pissed in the Trent Nav. And when I got to the Trent Nav, he was basically paralytic. I mean,
he was gone, man.
He could barely stand up.
I had to get him home.
Did he really leave? He left early.
He left at 1-0. I walked in.
I thought he'd been busy in the 20 minutes till we got to the Trent Nav, man. I was like,
I walked in the Trent Nav, and the first thing Nicky said to me was, "What was the score?"
when he met up with us, I told him we're leaving in 5 minutes, so he went and got himself 2 pints.
wait, no. Nicky said he took Matt and Sophie to their seats, in the
Trent
Nav. They get to the game.
And he went to the Trent Nav.
Dean, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Again, man, you've been so generous, bro. Much love. That's gone to Stephen. Make sure you show Dean some love. Graham as well. Kane's got it. Nova's got it. And Delta Force in brackets as well. Got it as well. Dino, man, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much, buddy. All right. I've seen a lot of handshakes, right? Someone needs to explain their actions. Because frankly, it was very cringy, right? So let's get Ant in the hot seat. If you haven't seen it, just give you some background. We were doing the post-match reaction just outside the fan zone. And we were there gassing and chatting rubbish as always. And then what looked like a security guard from our peripheral vision came across because they had a little lanyard on and a black jacket on. And then we were just talking away and he came up and then suddenly we was like, it's Fran's car. And then what happened. Right. Anthony.
Right. Before I go into that story, there's one very quick story I want to tell you, which I only realised this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this week, I had to go down to Thetford near Ipswich for a meeting.
I lost Rob. Wait, go on, carry on.
And they before I left, they said, "Oh, do you want to take some sandwiches and a drink for your trip back?" And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So I took a couple of sandwiches and I picked up a drink that I have not had either ever or many, many years ago. And I swear to God, guys, that's what I picked up. And I've never bought a can of this in my life. So that's that one. Now then, the other story. So anyways, we're standing outside and we're setting up for a little post-match chat. And yeah, here we go. So Ez, actually, I think you spotted Franz first, didn't you? And
yeah.
He kind of introduced me and I didn't realize who it was.
What did you say to me?
As I'm turning away, I go to shake his hand, even like we do. And then I went, "Hey, your Fran's car." And I say, "Come on over." And I pull him over to where we're standing. And Fran's car is one of the loveliest blokes you will ever meet. He's such a nice guy. And I think what happened was he got carried away with talking Santa, as you can see. Sorry, with Wolfie, as you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he forgets to let go of my hand. And if you look, I keep saying to Ez, I can't get my hand away, Ez. And I even prove it to Ez by wiggling my thumb about to show that it's not me gripping. I'm not gripping. And I think that my esteemed colleague Ez will now back me up on this. Won't you, Ez?
No.
No, we've got video.
Come on.
No, well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But Franz or Hans car, we started calling him. That
You
was...
can see he's laughing now, look, with me, look. And I keep, he's looking at me and look.
And the worst thing was because I knew you had a mic on. You had a mic on as well. I was like, Hans, shut up, man. He's picking it all up.
The problem is, if we watch the whole thing, we'll be here till 8 o'clock waiting for him to let go.
Absolutely, but he was so nice. He was so nice and so amazing.
It's a minute and 4 seconds. I've timed it.
It's not.
Even what he says, if you do watch it back, do listen to what Franz has to say about the current situation on the team and stuff. He has some
you
real
can't because it's mesmerizing.
If you can concentrate, yeah.
It's mesmerizing. I felt sorry for Ez. I don't know why this is so zoomed in. But they would in your crotch area the whole time.
And of course, I assumed, it never crossed my mind that this would be out public like this. I assumed that any decent editor would crop into to Franz and Wolfie's faces Look, there we go. There we go. Look.
It's not like
What a relief. Oh, thank God he's free. What a
He
relief.
shook it off, man. He shook it off.
Oh wow.
But it's a lovely guy. So if you want to hold anybody's hands, he's not a bad guy to hold on to. Okay.
Was it soft and warm, man?
It was
He had a
firm
good
and
grip,
hard.
didn't he?
Yeah, because I couldn't get my hand away. I kept wobbling my finger like that. I said, look, it's not me.
I don't know, right? Like, you lot are quite embarrassing, right? So we've had Ant trying to kiss Stan Collymore twice, right? We've now had Ant.
Ez calling Stuart Pearce daddy and asking him to tell him off.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Asking him to
Yeah.
spank him again.
We got
Yeah,
literally, for those of you who weren't at the live event with Psycho, Ez decides to turn around to, he goes, "Can you give me the mic? Give me the mic." Yeah. He goes, "Stuart, when I was a kid, you told me off. Would you tell me off again, please?"
And the worst thing about this is that the comedic timing, because I was late and I walked in at exactly that point. So I just walked into a pub, complete silence, about 100 people in there, and Ez goes, "Stuart daddy." He told me off when I was 7. And he told me off again. And I'm not joking. I stood at the door and I looked at the guy next to me, and the bouncer just looked at me and went, "I don't know what the fuck's going on, mate."
He just turned around and walked back. Wait, Rob, you weren't at that one. You weren't at the Mark Crosley one. Oh my God, man. It was like we were under severe instructions at the Mark Crosley one to everyone hold Ez down and not let him have the mic on. So yeah, so we've had hand game.
We told Ez the BDSM meeting was the following week.
Deep with the £2. He says, "They're like Franz and Ant were getting married." Man, I'll tell you what, man. Some of the comments on that video yesterday were just killing me, man. And it does look like they were getting married. Do you take this?
after replying to about 20 explaining, I gave up after that. It's not.
No, you know what he did, chat? He called me while I was driving back. Why the hell wasn't this cropped out? I'm like, why would we crop out comedy gold, man? Forrest said with the 4.99, he says, "Teddy loved meeting you guys before the match. Thanks, Crypto, for the Photoshop on the photo." Man, Teddy, you're a legend. Make sure you're listening to your dad. Yeah. And also on that photo, just to let you know, bro, Forrest said, Crypto put it on. I did say wait for permission, but he's covered Teddy's face up because I don't like the idea.
Oh, and then the top comment.
Teddy's probably really fed up that you covered his face up.
This will make you
really
laugh.
fed up.
This will make you laugh. The first comment was, "Why have you covered Ez's face?"
Because I was holding Teddy up. I think between me and Aaron, we were holding out because he's quite a muscular kid, mate. He's got, a set of guns on him, so I needed help, right?
Like me.
And, so he's up there. Go check it out. So it's on Teddy. If you want to take him down, let us know. But we've covered Teddy's face. Sorry, if you want us to take it down because of Teddy, let us know. But I told him not to put it up. All right. Shall we get into the game? Boys, what the hell happened yesterday, man? I mean, it was crazy good. I mean, I was out with these two, so I don't really care about their opinion. I had to listen to them whining for 90 minutes. So let's kick it off with Ben and Rob. Now, I was
honestly, it's like sitting with a 4-year-old, never shuts up, screaming at the ref, screaming at the pitch, screaming at the players, crying.
We can tell by his voice,
even though we've seen it up.
And do you know why I lost my voice? You know, I lost my voice because when we scored the first goal, right, I jumped up and celebrated, and God forbid I knocked off Ant's precious hat, right? Ant didn't celebrate the first goal, and then he just
looking for me.
kicked off at me.
To be fair, it was a Brighton goal, the first goal.
Yeah, no, but you don't know the funniest bit. I gotta show you what happened, right? Let me just find.
Oh my God, he's doing a reenactment.
I'm doing a reenactment. So he got his hat, right? He got his hat, and then he puts it on. And then this is what happened, right? Yeah, he turns around to me, he put his hat on.
How was that
like
flustered?
this? What do you know?
I'm blind.
I've gone blind. I did.
He's like looking in the
You
wrong
do.
direction. Am I lying?
God.
Am I lying? His scarf
No,
is
not
going
at all. It was so funny. I turned around and I was like, "Where's Anne gone?" I knew.
Oh, we know how to have fun. We do, don't we?
Anyway, yeah. So for anyone who's in the Upper Trent near us, I apologize for these two children that I was looking after. Anyway, all right, let's get into the game. Ben and Rob, who wants to kick it off, man?
You go
What
first.
happened, man? Huh?
You go first.
Go on, Crypto.
I mean, I've got a bone to pick with you lot because you lot said after the match that Morgan Gibbs-White had an okay match. I thought he was absolutely sensational yesterday. I thought it was the game of the season for Morgan Gibbs-White. So I just want to start with that. But yeah, I mean,
you lot are, but I thought
Let
he
him
had
finish, and then you can come in.
Yeah, concentrate on your own thoughts, not other people.
Yeah, but
exactly.
I've got to stick up for my boy Morgan Gibbs-White. It was almost too good. After 3 or 4 goals, I actually got a bit bored. So I'm not surprised Nicky went to the pub. But no, it was fantastic. And I was trying to think back to when I've seen a match like that before. And I was thinking there was a 5-0 or so against Leeds about 10 years ago. But actually, it was a 7-0 12 years ago against Leeds. So we have seen that before. But
That was 7-3 or 4, wasn't it?
From 7-3
we
or
still
7-3, I
scored
think.
7 goals. But
Yeah.
look, yesterday was fantastic and everybody played their part. It was a great team performance. It was good to see Danilo back. I didn't think that Danilo looked out of place at all. It didn't look like he's been away for 5 or 6 months. So yesterday was absolutely fantastic. And the best thing for me yesterday was that we have basically answered the week before, because it could have gone 2 weeks, right? We lost 5-0. We could have either gone to shit and started losing games, or we could have made a statement. And I think Nuno told that to them yesterday. I think he said, right, you need to go out there and make a statement because your match last week was not good enough. And they did it, and everybody put in a performance. And I mean, what can you say? Like, it was fantastic. Elanga was really good as well. His improvement has been top of the charts. But yeah, I do just have to shout out Morgan Gibbs-White because I thought he had an excellent game as well.
Go on, Rob, before these lot bite back at Crypto.
Well, I'm not quite sure what we witnessed yesterday, but it was great fun. And I now know how many goals are required before I can relax. And the answer is 4. Because we were 3-0 up at half time.
When your semi went down. Sorry,
we were 3-0 up at half time, and then we came out, and for about 15 minutes, Brighton had a real go at us. And I did think, oh, please not Southampton all over again. But when we scored the 4th, I thought, okay, I think it's in the bag now. And of course, I shouldn't have worried because Morata was on from the start, and we were never going to let a goal in. But, you know, after having had those 7 go against us, you felt like it. But you come back and look at it again, we were never going to let a goal in. And I was very happy with the fact that we started with the 3-4-3. Nuno said in his post-match interview that, above all, they didn't want to let a goal in. It was exactly the response that we needed. We wiped all those 7 goals off the goal difference. In fact, after this afternoon, our goal difference is now the same as Man City, which could be quite important because they're 6 points behind us. So I think that was the other thing I would add. All of the other results went in our favour as well. Liverpool beat Bournemouth, which I think is probably the result we wanted because we don't want Bournemouth catching us up. And Leicester and Derby lost. It was everything I could possibly want. So I went to the Trent Nav and then decided for the rest of the day to eat and drink as much as I possibly could because I think history was made yesterday. I'm old enough to remember when we beat Chelsea 7-0 in April 1991. Now, I wasn't at the game, but I do remember watching the highlights of it. Remember, this is pre-Abramovich Chelsea, right? Chelsea used to be like a bang average, ordinary team.
Fulham. Fulham.
Yeah, exactly. And we battered them 7-0. So people can go and find the highlights of that on YouTube. 2 goals from Roy Keane, 2 goals from Psycho. And, that was what, 34 years ago? So it puts it into...
Is that when Ez was the ball boy and Stuart Pearce ran over to him?
It was around about that time, actually.
Oh, God, man.
So, it was... look, history was made. It was the best possible response. And I think it just puts everybody in their place because somebody... I noticed that on Fantasy Premier League, Chris Wood was the most transferred out player after last week.
Yeah, that's mad.
And I
I
think
tried
a
to put
few
him in.
people are regretting that because I kept him and he got
Yeah, I kept-
Yet, Rob, you still found time in the match. And I quote, imagine Visser warming up now, getting ready to come on.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that about 60 minutes. I was thinking, just imagine if we had him to bring on, because I mean, it was still Taiwo on 90 minutes, wasn't it? Come on, it's not ideal.
Yeah, but Mozzo, is this now your security blanket thing? You got to text.
I'll send
me
you a
to
text.
feel. Yeah,
It's
like
like
the
the 0-0
ritual
thing.
now. Like we've gotten in the lead. I got to send the text. That
Well,
makes everything the same as before.
Morato was already on, so I couldn't send you the Morato text. So yeah, can I send you another one as well? I can't remember.
Yeah,
now.
you should come more often.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
was at
You should.
2:30. That was at 2:30. I would love to. I would love to.
All right, I know a joke I could say there, but I'm going to resist.
Pause. All right, so it was a great game. I want to ask you two about the formation. Rob touched on it slightly, but I saw it as a 3-4-2-1 personally, with Elanga just like doing left, right across in the kind of 10 role. Were you liking what you saw as in terms of that formation, and should we stick with it, or is this just like reactionary if we say yes?
Well, as the only donut on the panel, I was the one who went with the back three, didn't I? And I think most important thing for Nuno.
Didn't they ridicule you as well?
Absolutely. Got called a donut. Everyone blamed me, but no, I went with you on what you said. Nuno's priority would be, and the priority would be to get that clean sheet. But the way they set up, I mean, Hertzler is a joke of a manager. Did you hear what he said after the game? But
he ran away. He just ran off, didn't he?
Well, I mean, he ran off the pitch, but he said that was a brave display or brave decision, and he would do it again. Now, after getting absolutely smashed 7-0 to make that kind of comment, I wouldn't have any confidence in him being their manager come the start of next season. He'll probably last until the summer, but I don't think you'll see much more than that. And his naivety showed to play that Hinshaw Wood, who's only just come back from injury. I think he's like 19, 20 years old, on his own as a lone CDM against our forward line. Now, we'll talk about the formation because I know it's something that you want to talk about, Wolfie, whether we should stick with it. My argument against it would be that we're not going to come up against such a naive setup as we did yesterday. And I'm not saying it was just down to his selection, but we spotted the weakness, and 3 of the 4 goals, we exploited that, especially when Elanga isolated their right back, Tariq Lamptey, playing at left back, who's not a left back, he's a right back, playing at left back out of position, and they isolated him, and that's where we got a lot of our joy yesterday. So Nuno and the team knew exactly what to do. It was the most impressive response to a drubbing that I've ever seen, and I will be sentimental a little later on because I've got to say yesterday was just so perfect. And like Rob was saying, these are the kind of things that we were dreaming of when we got into the Premier League. Yesterday just topped it all off. But to come back from that 5-0 trouncing last week and respond like that, absolutely perfect. And it just shows that we've still got it and we're still in this. And I don't care what anybody says. Forest have been unbelievable this season.
Ez, can I quickly add something, which is, I thought to start off with, Brighton did look good with the ball at their feet. I thought they looked slick in the initial phase. But what I noticed, and I was watching quite carefully, is Morato really followed João Pedro around like a bad smell, right? He was on him the whole time, to the point where João Pedro was dropping right back into midfield just to bloody get rid of him. And then as soon as he picked up the ball and went forward, Morato was there. And I think that maybe didn't go as recognised because we were too busy scoring. But I really want to call out Morato for what... I mean, he is a starter for me. I think that the point about that 3-4-3 or whatever it is, 3-4-1-2 or 2-1, is that Morato is a starter. He's hard to drop for me. I want him in.
He was exceptional yesterday. He was absolutely, and both me and Wolfie did point it out. They've switched it around. He played Milenkovic in the middle of a 3, which is the first time we've seen that, and it worked exceptionally well yesterday. Nothing wrong with the way we set up, but the way they set up was very attacking. I mean, at one point, they had 5 attackers on the edge of our box, you know. But first 10, 15 minutes, we kind of scored against the run of play, to be fair, but it was a move that we definitely used again and again in the game. But they started off very on the front foot. They wanted that first goal. They knew how important it was and how many. I think is that 20 games now or 19 games that we've taken a lead in. It's ridiculous. It's an absolutely ridiculous stat, and he knew that very well. But so the way they set it was to try and get that first goal. It didn't happen for them, and we absolutely trounced them as it went on.
Ever since Rob sat on GOR and said that teams score against us in the first 20 minutes, not a single team has scored against us in the first
20 minutes. I never
20
said that. That's just bullshit. What I said was the priority for playing people like Man City and Arsenal is getting through the first 20 minutes without conceding. There's
the same thing, just in a different sentence.
No. I think there's something wrong with your brain, but carry on.
Definitely.
I just want to show you guys this quickly, just to back up what Ez is saying and make it a little bigger. These are the average positions. Can you guys see that? Okay. So, you know, we haven't done a bit of analysis, as they say on Big Six, for quite a while. Yeah. So how does he say it? How does
analysis? Analysis. Yeah, it's different every time.
That sounds like an STD.
It's not. Tumbleweed. I can't because I'm on the wrong screen. But yeah, I just wanted to underline the point here that I think I said it in the match reaction this morning. That what's his name? That kid manager Hitzelsberg.
Ursula. Is it Ursula?
Yeah, he won't be there long. If you look at that, he literally went 5 attackers, no midfield, and then, you know what I mean, 1 CDM, and that was it. And it was playing into our hands. And if you compare that, boys, to our average positions, it was a lot tighter in that middle. And you can see there, Elanga was playing really high in terms of the rest of our team. And then Danilo was playing as the CDM, which I think, Ant, you were pointing out quite early yesterday on. And in general, I thought if you look at Einar, they tried to double up on him quite a lot of the times when they came down that wing. And then Morata would just move across and deal with it, or Einar would have already dealt with it. So it's quite interesting when you're looking at these. I might start doing the analytical videos again. With all the
good, mate.
It's good. Yeah, it's just like ages to put together. But I just thought I'd share that with you guys before I brought Ant in on his thoughts. And just before he brings his thoughts in, we've got already over 500 of you in here. Only 177 of you have shaken hands with the like button. So we should be on 200. So give that like button a quick shake, just like Ant did with Fran's car yesterday. And big up to Nottingham Steve with the £5. What a lovely grandson and granddad. I was trying to remember what way on the cover they were. He says, my grandson, Maliki, didn't mention the result, just that he'd met Wolfie and is nearly as tall as us.
It's true.
Wrong priority.
Bless him, Maliki. I've never seen a child so awestruck when he turned around and when Wolfie turned around and looked at him. He was like literally gobsmacked like that.
No, bless him.
Well, you can say so awestruck when he saw a fully grown adult.
Fully grown man, same height of him. Shut up.
I thought he was going to say that.
Okay. He says, thanks, guys, legend. None Steve. That's my favorite super chat for the last month. I love everyone who's super chatted, obviously, but that line there about nearly as tall as us, I love it. I love it. Shout out to the Maliki, man. What a beautiful name as well. My King, it means in Arabic. Fantastic name. Thank you so much, Steve, for the £5, and hopefully we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see him outgrow Ez by the next home game. That'll be it. We should do that. We should just compare sizes. Legend.
Listen, I've got to jump to Ez's defense here. He may not be the tallest person in the world, but trust me, he's beautifully put together, and that's what counts.
And he smelled delicious yesterday, man. He smelled like I was just every now and again I was having a quick sniffer. Steph, the lovely Steph with the 9.99 says, sorry, I'm late. Apology accepted. Amazing match. Our mental resilience represents this squad, and Nuno is leading of this. I like this leading effect. I like it. Thank you so much, Steph. I mean, the resilience was ridiculous. I'm sure Ant's about to touch on it. Thank you so much for your support, Steph. And the man, Tom Brooks, with the $4.99 donation. Thank you so much, Tommy boy. Appreciate it, bro. We'll see you on here soon as well. All right, let's get the handshaker in. And what you saying, man? Where do you want to kick off with? There's so much to cover off.
Well, first thing is, I think you probably agree on this. We were a little surprised with the three that made up the back three in their positions, because you would have expected the right footer Milenkovic to be in on the right, and then perhaps Murillo in the middle and Morata on the left. You know, but they didn't. They put the left footer on the right, and obviously it works. So that's the first thing. As regards, yes, it worked brilliantly yesterday. We were playing against a side that absolutely played into our hands. That doesn't mean it wasn't a brilliant result. It was an incredible result. You don't get those very often. But I don't think it's a case of, yes, that's the way we should go moving forward. The beauty of the way we've played is that we can adopt different systems. In many, many games this season, we've started with a back four. We've got that lead. After 60, 70 minutes, we go to a back three and shut the game down. And I think that is perfect. Of course, we can play with a back three. We've shown that. But certain games, we're going to prefer a back four. So I think it's a case of horses for courses. You know, you pick a back three when appropriate, and you pick a back four when appropriate. And it will change depending on who you're playing, depending on how many players the opposition put into midfield and things like that. There's a lot of moving parts that you have to take into account when you're building a formation. And also formations, you know, I say this quite often. Formations are, you know, you put them down on paper. Players that aren't static, they don't stay still. Players move about. So even within a formation, there's license for players to perhaps move into position opposition doesn't expect. So it's not that rigid. You have a starting point, but you need to have the intelligent players to be able to manipulate that formation when necessary. And I think we have that both those players, well, the manager and the players that are capable of carrying out the manager's instructions. And I think that's one of our great strengths. So, yeah, it worked brilliantly yesterday, but on another occasion, we'll play a four, and that will work.
Yeah. What I did like about that formation, what it allowed, but I was trying to look back on the Everton game, which is the last time I saw the two pair up like we did yesterday. But when Elanga's so close to Wood, like we saw on play positions there, it really works. They really do connect well together. And we saw, I think it was like a double 10 we played yesterday, because Gibbs-White was everywhere.
It was a lot of the time, yeah.
Primarily across that top, front nine. But it works really well. And I do like how they've been linking up. And obviously, I mean, 10 assists now for Elanga this season. And hasn't he set up most of those for Chris Wood? I think exclusively set them all up for Chris Wood. I think that's what the stat I saw. Somebody can correct me on that. But it's been exceptional. You can see that they link up really well together, and I'd like to see more of that. And if that formation, like Ant said, horses for courses, certain games will ask for it. But like I said, I don't think we're going to come up against such a naive setup like we did yesterday again this season. So when we do need it, it's another string to our bow, and it just shows that Nuno has really worked hard with these players in the last week or so by moving them around. And I think it's about 10 days before our next game. So he played Elanga, for example. I think he played the whole game, and he didn't look tired for the first time. He looked like he still had energy in that final 10, 15 minutes, which was really great to see. So Nuno's got them firing on all cylinders. And like I said earlier, one of the best responses you could have possibly had to that. But that formation is interchangeable, and it just shows we have got a plan B.
Well, yeah, I mean, the front part of it was different, wasn't it? Because when you think about it, what we played away at Brentford was the same at the back, but we didn't have Hudson-Odoi available. And, you know, especially looking at the average position, you can almost say that Elanga was playing as a second striker yesterday, in that he was playing off Wood.
He had so much freedom, didn't he? He had so much freedom.
I mean, he wasn't off to one side. He was basically... and that shows his versatility. I mean, he's a two-footed player anyway, but I mean, I just
and his intelligence, Rob. Sorry to him.
So that's what we criticised him on. That's what we criticised. But those two have got some real telepathy, and you know, I guess it's not new, because if you remember when they put that video of Chris Wood's 20 goals up when he hit 20, out of the first 10, I think 6 or 7 were Elanga assists. So they've clearly got something going on. It's like he knows where I'm going to be, and He knows the runs I'm going to make. I just wonder how the Man United fans feel watching that on Match of the Day, looking at Elanga doing that, because I don't know, they could do with him right now, couldn't they? I mean, if they could buy somebody like him for about 60 or 70 million, they would right now.
Yeah,
and I have to say, we
yeah.
all probably have to pay a debt to Nuno, because Nuno really stuck with Elanga through some absolutely rubbish form for probably the first 15 games of this season, where we're thinking, why on earth is he picking him? Why won't he play Jota? Why didn't we take the money from Newcastle? Right now, I would say, without exaggerating, Elanga is leading our attack. Not Gibbs-White. I think Elanga is leading the attack. And I would hate to see how we manage without him now, because is that his heat map?
That's his heat map. Yeah,
Pretty central, right? Pretty central. But he covered a lot of ground.
No, he went left. He went right. As in,
Yeah.
this one on the left. It's this here. Sorry if I put the mouse over. So all the blue on this side. So
I'd like
he
to see him
predominantly
play that
was on the
again.
left, but you wouldn't expect that kind of heat map.
Yeah.
For someone who started on the left and having this many touches on the right hand side as well, and he was getting back on that left hand side to help Nico Williams.
Well, I mean,
He just had a great game yesterday.
Yeah,
He was
same.
everywhere, and everything he did that I can remember, he did well. And he did what we've been screaming him to do, and that's gone outside and beat your man for pace.
Oh, he
Now,
was
when he
so
did that,
fast.
he did that, he was on the right hand side, so it suited him to do that. He just destroyed. I mean, it's Dunk who's getting on anyway, but nevertheless, it shows that when he does that, he's a real skilled prospect.
I think
And
a lot.
we know his ball delivery from free kicks and corners can be good, and his ball delivery, I think, is improved amazingly. From
can we touch on that? Can we touch on that?
Oh no, we
Second
can't.
goal.
No,
Can we touch on that?
No.
Second goal.
I know what he's gonna say.
On his set piece delivery. What did you say, Wolfie? What did you say?
Oh, he hates him, doesn't he? He hates him.
Seconds before he struck that.
I said I have a feeling this will be a goal.
Total opposite.
That's not how I remember it.
He was asking me and Ant if we'd prefer Anderson on the set pieces, just as Elanga stepped up to take that corner that MGW scored from. But yeah, good timing.
Yeah.
There.
Right, now I was going to say about the third goal. Go on then, Ant, get out of the way.
What?
The third goal. What did I say on the third goal?
Which was the third goal? Bloody hell.
It doesn't matter. If you can't remember, it doesn't matter.
I didn't hear it. Otherwise, I would have definitely.
Wood header.
Can you remember where it is?
I think watching
like Chris Wood's header.
Yeah.
From the fantastic cross by Elanga.
Another cross from Elanga.
Did you say something like, don't fucking cross it or something?
No, now you make me look back. No, I didn't. I was like, there's only one person in the box.
Yeah, see, this is where intelligence comes in, because I know if I say that, you'll defend yourself and give the answer away. See, that's how it works, mate.
Little skullduggery there. Okay. All right. I just want to show you this. Just final bit on the heat.
I said, that's all we need.
No, with a few expletives. So if you look at this, this was Gibbs-White's heat map there.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, so it's like, again, he was switching to both sides. So when you overlay the two together, they were covering the same bits of ground. But Rob, for me, it was the fluidity. Like there was times where they were both on the same side to triple up with Einar up against Lamptey. And then there was times where Gibbs-White was just switching that play across to Nico Williams as well. It was probably some of the most fluid football I've seen since we've been back in the Premier League.
I couldn't quite work out from an attacking point of view what the formation was. And I think Brighton couldn't either. And they still didn't know after 97 minutes of it. So they were all moving around. I was trying to work out whether Anderson had started on the left, and he hadn't. He was everywhere. And whether Gibbs-White was like tucked in as a 10, or whether he was playing on one side like he used to, and he was everywhere. Danilo stayed fairly central.
Danilo looked like the 6. If you're going to say that.
Exactly. Although he wasn't doing the job of a 6, because I counted and he made 0 tackles in that game.
I think Rob, because he doesn't want to get injured first.
Yes,
game
exactly,
back.
exactly.
No.
Wait, just before you
finish
get
my point,
hold on,
please?
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Can I finish my point?
It's my
please?
boy
He wasn't
talking.
going in
Can
with
I
like-
finish what I was saying? Because I was most of the way through it.
Right, let him
don't take
finish
all
his
night.
point, and then
Don't take all night then. All right.
let him finish the point, and then
It's
I got to
quicker if you
run some
don't
super
interrupt.
chats, and then I want to talk about Danilo in specific. Go on, finish your point.
So Danilo didn't make any tackles, even though he was playing as the deepest central midfielder. I think there's no problem with that because specifically they picked the 3 central defenders behind him, so he didn't have to do that. Because as a manager, I wouldn't want him launching into a tackle on his first day back. So that was absolutely fine. But I noticed he barely headed the ball, he barely tackled. His passing, I thought, was good.
Forward,
So
not
I like that
backward.
about it. Well, okay, he set up the first goal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
that was
anyway, that's what I was
lovely.
going to say. He was playing in that CDM role, but without the tackling part of the job because there were the 3 behind him to do that job. Also, just want to point out, Laurie made a very good point in the chat, which is that it was almost as if Elanga knew that Hudson-Odoi was not available, so he had to do his job as well because he was kind of on both wings at different times.
He was.
Yeah, Laurie, that's
I
not
have
very good.
finished speaking, Ant. You
Okay,
may-
all right. I'll bring Ant in just 1 second. I gotta catch up
Too late. I've nodded
on
off.
these legends. All right, these should wake you up. Then Neil with the $2 says, "So glad I stayed up for that one. Come on, you Reds from New Zealand. Glad you stayed up as well, bro." And our bud Matt SB with the $4.99.
See
There's
you, man.
5 legends. Pleasure to meet you all yesterday, you Reds. Honestly, we had so much fun with Matt, man. We probably could have missed the
Another
game.
lovely guy, and his sister's a lovely girl. We know some lovely people. It's a pleasure.
It is
Proper
an
YouTube
absolute
royalty as
pleasure.
well.
Matt, next time you go to the Forest match, I'm going to give you my 3rd kit, the sky blue one, so you'll feel a bit more at home and you can wear a Forest kit thinking it's a Coventry kit. So shout out to the great man. That's Matt SB. Well on the road to 100K. Make sure you're subscribed. And our very own FFTV Monk with the £10. He says, we're 17 away from 1,500 on FFTV Instagram. Hint,
Come on,
hint,
guys.
thank you. Guys, if you
Come
do
on,
have
guys.
Instagram, if one of the
Link.
mods could put the link in the chat,
Yeah.
or you just type in ! Insta. There's so much information there for all of you asking about transfer news updates and everything. Obviously, we can't churn out video after video after video every 5 minutes. So keep an eye on our socials.
Yeah.
Just like we told you that Cunha was not being linked to Forest, despite what Sky and the mainstream media were saying. All the information we're getting is well sourced. So make sure it's all on our social medias. And obviously, it'll be on Patreon and on YouTube. So make sure you're following us on there. And just like we told you about Dubai as well.
Can I say Monk works really, really hard on that.
I
And he rings us at 3 a.m. to say, is any more news? Anything I can put on Insta? So he works really hard, and he's an unsung hero because he doesn't get a lot of acclamation or anything. He's a good guy, and he works hard. So
without the guys helping us in the background, we wouldn't be able to do this. And he's like
100%.
the bedrock of what's going on. So shout out to him. So make
just
sure you
just
support.
sent it for you guys to. There's a couple of exclusive videos from the stands yesterday with me, Wolfie and Ant. So yeah, please do if you haven't already
shared those.
Yeah, why not, man? It's behind the scenes, bro.
I didn't even know you were filming half the time. Okay, and just before we jump back into the Danilo talk, David says, how many points do we need for top 4? If you check out Forest All Over, they did a great breakdown video of the average points per position. Statman Will broke it down. So make sure you check that out. But spoiler alert, it's about 67.
It's about 2 points a game, isn't it? It's about 2 points a game.
Well, we need
68.
now
It's less
20
than that.
points
Sorry,
from
so what I'm
14
talking about is
games.
less than that. That's 72.
Yeah, we need
isn't
20
it?
points from 14 games,
And
basically.
it's top 5, guys. It's top 5.
Yeah, which will be about 65 points. So we need 18 points from.
18 sounds ridiculously easy, doesn't it? For
It
a
didn't
team
last
like
year,
us?
mate. It didn't last year.
That's last year, though, isn't it?
Exactly, man. How things have changed. All right, we're on 254 likes. We got in here over 500. Make sure, guys, you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new.
How many points?
Huh?
How many points do you think we need?
About 18.
Yeah, no, 20
So
odd,
there's
I reckon.
20, how many games left are there?
So we're on 47. You need 65. That's 18 points.
I don't know.
Yeah, but how many games left are there? 20,
14.
Say-
14.
No, it's
14
not.
games left.
To be
14
safe,
games left.
Champions League
That
qualification.
sounds easy, though, doesn't it, for us? It
target
does sound
70.
easy.
I think you've got to target 70 with Man City and
Yeah,
with
of course you have.
agree.
Yeah, of course you
Yeah.
have.
7
But
is
even that,
23.
but even
Sorry?
that,
That's 7 wins and 3 draws, or
yeah,
8
okay,
wins.
but just be aware that the next 4 games that we've got are not exactly the most appealing. So
No,
we
there's
might
no
not
easy
make
game
much
in the
progress
Premier
on
League.
that by the end of them.
Oh,
So
it's so negative, man.
No,
Even
but
after
you're right,
yesterday.
Rob.
no. I mean,
You're right, Rob. But there's no easy games in the Premier League. And the
Yeah.
thing that people seem to always forget is that the teams chasing us, they've got to win those games plus more points, more games.
Playing each other as well. Don't forget.
Yeah.
that.
They're playing-
They have to
yeah.
play each other.
Yeah.
Most of them.
They're playing each other. I think Chelsea are playing Man City next or something like that.
Yeah, no, if you look at Man City's run over February, it's whoa. It's like literally
Yeah.
the top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
And
like
that's not
Arsenal,
even
Arsenal.
including, not including the European ties.
Yeah.
And they're
I
still
think
right.
what I'm saying is, I think as long as we beat the clubs, I won't say below us because nearly everybody's below us, but you know what I mean? Like the bottom half
Around
clubs,
us.
we should be
Oh,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't
getting
worry. I'm
goosebumps.
pretty sure we'll get champions.
No, but and that's what we've managed to do in the first half of the season. If we could get a few more points around that top 8, because our record against the top 8 in that first half of the season isn't good. That would just take us to that next level and secure.
Yeah.
I just want to secure that gap between us and
Yeah,
sixth
no,
place
I
right
agree,
now.
Ez, but what I'm saying is we don't need to. It's been nice to and make it easier, but we don't need to. We can probably do it by just beating the
Mm.
bottom 12 or something.
Yeah, but
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
forget as well. We tend
Potentially, yeah.
we tend to
Potentially.
play better against the bigger teams because of our counter-attacking style. Because they obviously
That's
want a lot
true.
of possession.
We
So
do,
we
but we haven't been getting the results against them, to be fair.
But
If
even
you
I
look
mean,
at-
we've still got Leicester at home
got
to come.
draws.
Yeah.
Don't forget, every single person, all these YouTubers, all these media people were saying Forest are going to fall off, especially after last week. Oh, Forest have lost 5-0. This is the start of their downfall. So for us to go out there yesterday and win 7-0 is a slap in the face to everyone.
Mate, YouTube is, I've never seen so many.
I've never seen so much
videos
trash talk by
praising
these YouTubers.
Shut up, will
I
you?
don't know.
I've never
haven't seen
seen so many YouTubers praising Forest. Honestly, there's loads of them.
I don't know why you see so much hate, because I haven't seen that even after last week.
Because you
Is
get
it me?
looking for it.
Is it me?
Is it worth mentioning that we won? Is it worth mentioning that we won 7-0 with 37% possession? I mean,
Yeah,
that's taking the piss, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, but you know
absolutely
what, Rob?
bonkers.
You know what? On that, and by the way, I'll tell you what, I will tell you an exclusive transfer update. Now, it's not necessarily going to be a link, but I'll tell you the state of play with Forest. If we get to 350 likes, okay, so I'll leave that up to you guys in the
I'll
chat
hit
to
the
get
like.
this.
I'll hit the like.
Oh, good. I thought you would. Now, I think, Rob, you know, I can't remember who I was talking to, but the point on possession, when you really, really kind of lift the bonnet up and look underneath it, I would say 20% of most teams' possession that have 50 plus on possession is centre back to centre back.
Yeah,
Passing across
absolutely.
that line.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Man City have been doing it for years. In fact, I watched Man City and Arsenal today, and before Arsenal went crazy in the second half, that game was fucking boring. Sideways, 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 sideways. Honestly, so bloody hell, is somebody going to actually put the ball in the box? I don't think in the first half they had like one shot on target between them or something stupid like that. Move it.
One of the stats
People say that we're like anti-football. No, it's that boring shit that's anti-football. Get the ball in the box and score like we do.
Exactly.
One of the stats they mentioned as well is that Man City are the #1 team for passing out the back. So 20% of their possession is just going from goalkeeper to defender. Defender.
More than 20, mate.
Well, also, it doesn't help our stats that every time we get possession, we score 5 seconds later, and then we have to kick off. So it's like we can't actually
we give it away, don't we, Rob? We give possession away by scoring.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Let's touch on. I want to talk about next 2 players I want to talk about is Danilo and Morgan Gibbs-White. Look, I'll say this and don't take it out of context, right? Because I'm not judging his performance, but I did think he didn't look that sharp in his passes backwards. I mean, a couple of times I nearly ripped Ant's kneecap off.
Oh yeah,
his touch was a bit poor. I thought his first touch was a bit poor.
And that's expected, isn't it? What
Yeah,
I'm saying here,
exactly.
I don't
I'm not
want to judge him. I
either.
think the underlying thing from Danilo is that he's back. That's the first thing for me. But if I was analyzing his actual performance, ignoring all the emotional side of it, I thought he was really good going forward. But he did nearly cost us a couple of goals with some of those passes, some of those slice clearances. But that said, like overall, and pleased to see your boy back, Danilo. I'm surprised you're not in your Palmeiras shirt.
Oh shit! Yeah, why didn't I do that? That's not like me, is it?
Too late.
It must have been a 7-0. It's just sent me doolally. Yeah, obviously delighted to see him back. I think he can be. I mean, we'll go to Sangare later, but let's concentrate on Danilo. I think he could be a real positive for us going forward. Yeah, he was without doubt. It was rusty. I mean, who wouldn't be? But I don't get the impression he's the kind of guy that's going to take too long to get back to his best. I don't know. He missed a couple of tackles. You're quite right. That can be down to bad timing or a little bit of reluctance. I don't know with Danilo. I don't get the impression that he's one of these guys that's going to hold back. I think he was just his timing was off. That's what I felt anyway. Yeah. But like the difference between, I mean, I'm not getting on to anybody here, but the difference between him and Yates, for example, was that first goal when he just swung the ball out to Morgan Gibbs-White, 20, 30 yard ball, and Morgan went
with his weaker foot. With his weaker foot as well.
You know, there's certain other players in our side that play in those positions that you're not going to get that from. And that's been my point all along. Yatesy, for example, is a good lad to have in the trenches when you need rough and tumble against the poorer sides. But when you need quality, especially going forward, that's when you need players like Danilo. He wasn't playing, and not only did he come back from a hell of a long layoff, he wasn't playing in the position that he's probably, well, I would say he is better at, i.e. 8. So he's playing in a deeper role, which is not really his position anyway. Yeah. So I thought he did okay. I thought he did okay. I'm really confident that going forward he's going to contribute.
The pass to was it Morgan Gibbs-White for the first goal was lovely.
It was an exceptional pass, but I just want to touch on possibly the reason why Milenkovic was played in the middle of that free, but just to give that extra protection to Danilo, because then you've not got the danger of the long balls over top of him, you know, and that's potentially why that happened. But I felt he eased himself into that game, and it's something that obviously he's been out since day one of the season. But even that first season when Danilo came in, and at times last season, it takes him a while to really get into it. And when he does get into it, he's fantastic. You know, shout out to Richard, by the way. He's fantastic. So he'll be a player that's going to play his part this season. But I was so proud to see him back on the pitch. And if you have a look at the way Nuno greets him and the way he hugs him, it's like
Nuno loves him, doesn't he?
Honestly, there's a lot of love between them two. Absolutely loves him, and you can clearly see that.
The reception, obviously, when he came off as well as when he started making it, was, you know.
Ben, I want to bring you in on this question. I'll give you a little toughy question. Shout out to Richard. The voice is slowly coming back, bro. Make sure you guys are watching them. They've already done a video. I think it was straight after the match, actually, on Talking Reds. So make sure you subscribe to the boys and all the other Forest boys and girls as well. Ben, who is the strongest midfield now? They're all back, technically speaking, apart from Callum Hudson-Odoi. So I think he sticks to this formation. What's the strongest combo now, in your opinion?
So prior to yesterday, I would have said Sangare, Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White. But after yesterday, I think what we played yesterday is now our strongest midfield with Danilo, Anderson, and Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, for Danilo's first game back after 5 months, I thought he was great. He wasn't perfect, but he was good to say he hasn't played for 5 months. It didn't look like he hadn't played for 5 months. Anderson was good as ever, all over the pitch. We know what Anderson can do. And Morgan Gibbs-White yesterday was phenomenal for me. I know some people...
Are you stuck on this formation then?
You know, I'm saying assume we stick with this formation.
Yeah. Even if we went back to 4-2-3-1, that would still be my midfield. So I mean, Morgan. I know you guys don't necessarily agree, but I thought yesterday was Morgan Gibbs-White's best game of the season. I thought he was phenomenal.
No, I don't know why you say you guys.
I agree. We'll come on to him. We'll come on to him.
I wanted to make a quick point on something Ez said, and I could be completely wrong, but I think the reason Milenkovic started in the middle yesterday is because the last 2 or 3 home games I've been to, Nuno has been going absolutely mental at Murillo when he makes those 50-yard runs up the pitch and loses the ball. And I think the reason he put Milenkovic in the middle is to stop Murillo from doing that. And yesterday he didn't do it. I could be wrong, but I think
you make a good point now.
I've seen Nuno get absolutely mental on
right.
the sidelines. So that would be my reason for starting Milenkovic in the middle.
The only reason I think I've got a doubt about that suggestion is because Crypto said it. Other than that, I think,
I do think it was added protection for Danilo. You know,
Murillo,
if you got Murillo behind, sorry, just let me just finish off his point. Robin, you can jump in. If you got Murillo behind Danilo and you've got those balls going over top, you make you slightly more susceptible for that to be an option for them. And like I said, they had 5 forwards, you know, so if it was. That is what we were trying to do. So I think that's why he was contracting that. But Rob, jump in.
2 quick points on what you've just said. Firstly, I think we should actually give credit to the team as a unit for how they looked after Danilo yesterday, because I think they all did look after him. And I think that's really important for him coming back, because now he can come off that and he's got like a 10-day break, maybe the Exeter game, maybe not. And he can think, right, I've completed a full Premier League game. I think it's going to be massive boost to him, you know. So that was the first point. The second point about Murillo coming forward, I noticed he did do a few of his forward runs yesterday, and every time he passed successfully at the end. I may be remembering wrong. I thought he's obviously been told not to do these stupid.
There was a noticeable difference for me yesterday where Murillo was getting to just before the halfway line, and then he was pinging balls out left, right, and front, but he wasn't making those crazy 80-yard runs all the way through the middle
or shooting from 60 yards.
I think
what he did was good. I thought it was
Murillo was fantastic yesterday. I thought they were all great.
I think you're all a bunch of pussies. I love him doing that. I want him to do it more.
It's entertaining.
I want to do, but like we said last time, it's something that he has to cut out to an extent, the shooting. But we want him to still do those runs, 100%. But just
if you got the other centre backs in, you've got like the likes of Sangari to fill in at 6 and cover the space he leaves. Let him do it. Don't stop him doing it.
Yeah, but I think you're underplaying how good defensively Murillo was. Like in that left pocket. There was times, Dan, where me and Ez were like, whoa, he wormed his way out of 2 or 3 Brighton players and then finds a quick pass. And I think just putting him on that left side almost frees him up. It goes back to Crypto's point that if there is a mistake, you don't want the mistake to happen centrally. You want it in one of the channels. Therefore, you've got, the Serbinator ready to come in and enforce.
I also think he's got a good connection with Neco as well, who we will touch on as well. He was absolutely exceptional. I thought actually choosing the man of the match on the player ratings was pretty easy, because I thought there was 4 10 out of 10 performances for me yesterday, and it was the ones that you shortlisted. But Neco was exceptional, and I think they worked really well together. So that was a good thing to see. And like I say, Milenkovic in the middle works with him with the captain's armband. I can't remember who mentioned it in the chat. That was the first time it went to the right captain.
Finally,
finally, he was brilliant. But yeah,
I
there was a lot of
agree.
good things from yesterday. A lot of good things. But going back to Danilo, just to correct something Rob said, he came off after 65 minutes. So, but that's what you want. That's what we all expected, didn't we? If he's going to start, he's going to get an hour or so, and that's what we wanted.
We just expected Sangari to replace him, didn't we?
That's the only thing that was disappointing.
I think it would have been nice, a comfortable time there to get Sangare on. Just before we move on, we got some super chats to catch up with. Wazza with the £7, £1 for each goal. Come on, you Reds. Wazza, love you, bro. Thank you so much for the £7. Noah's back. How you doing, Noah, with the 199? He says, Wolfie, luck was yesterday. More games to go.
Yeah.
Wolfie, luck. Am I reading that?
I think it means you got to go to more games.
I haven't seen one Jinxerine in the chat tonight.
No.
That's a good point from James.
I dare you.
Mate, the last time he came, he drew 2-2 to Brentford. So don't let him get above his station.
This guy's on fire at Palace, Mateta.
I don't care about Palace, man. No, thank you so much for the 199. And by the way, it doesn't look like you guys want the transfer update, because we're on 319 likes. I said 350. So how many we got in here? We're creeping up towards 600. So if you want to know what the state of play is at Forest, hit that like button. Simple as that. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Morgan Gibbs-White. Oh, you went there, Mark, did you? You went there. All right. Noted. Morgan Gibbs-White, I think we're being done a disservice in terms of me as an Ant, because I liked what Ant said yesterday. What he did yesterday was what he did good yesterday was phenomenal, and what he did bad with, I think he got away with a few things. In terms of poor touches that turned into a foul against him and things like that. That's not discrediting his performance. That's analyzing his performance.
People think we're hasting. They just don't get it.
It's not. We're just breaking it down. I agree with what Crypto and Rob have said. It was one of, if not the best performance he's had. He was so influential. And I'll go a step further. Ever since he joined the Beard Club, his performances have been phenomenal.
He looks better with a beard as well.
He looks damn hot with that beard, man. Yeah,
he does.
Obviously, he's been watching. He's seen the Beard Club, Rob. You know.
Am I the only one, by the way? Sorry to distract, but am I the only one yesterday who didn't realise that Neco had a mask on?
I didn't.
I only saw it in the highlights. I thought, what's wrong with his face? It was a bit shiny, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll come on to that. But and I'll let you defend. It was your statement, Nat and Nick, so I'll let you defend your position to start with.
Well, first of all, right, don't think I'm a hater or anything. I mean, if I turn around, look what's on my wall. Look, so come on, I'm not a hater, right, guys. Now I've got to unplug my camera. But anyway, we'll sort that out in a minute. It was absolutely fantastic. And what I love about him most of all is never stops running, never stops trying to tackle, never stops coming back. He's just everywhere. His energy is unbelievable. And I tell you, he's got passion for our club. I watched I watched something recently, a video recently, and no, it was an after match interview with TNT. And he was saying how much he loves the club and how we're going to do this and we've got this. And you know what I mean? Yeah. I genuinely think he's going to stay and he enjoys being here. And he was fantastic.
And Ant cried, by the way, on his 100 video.
On his 100 video, I did get a tear in my eye. I admit to that. So there you go. So that proves I'm not a hater. Okay, but really, you've got to call out. If you see something that's not perfect, then that's an area that a player can improve on. So you need to express that so that not that he's going to take any notes of what I say, but you get my point. And there's 2 or 3 times yesterday when he did his flicks and tricks in the middle of the pitch and lost the ball. And that's a little thing that we've seen him improve on. He needs to get it out of his game. He needs to just release the ball a bit quicker sometimes and not try too much. But when he does try and it does work, he's absolutely fantastic. And yes, you're quite right. He was magnificent yesterday, and I love the guy. All right, I'm going to try now fix my camera.
And in his defense, on a couple of those occasions, he did actually win it back. He did really well to win it back as well. But you can't. We've discussed it. I think it's one of those things where you say, "Oh, if you take it out of his game, you lose something," and that might be the case with MGW actually when it comes to that. But what he does get right, like Ant said, it was exceptional yesterday, and he is the hub of our team. I didn't actually realize it was his 100th appearance until we saw the celebrations at the end of the game, and obviously that video that came out, which was it was a real tearjerker, like Ant said. It was a humbling experience. But similar for me yesterday, what happened yesterday, meeting all the guys before the match, meeting some YouTube royalty, meeting the fans. We did a video call with Logan, and shout out to Logan and Nikki and Christian
and Grandad as well.
And apologies for calling Christine his wife rather than his daughter. But yeah, I got to meet them again yesterday. Obviously, we met Maliki, loads of people, and it was so humbling yesterday. And for us all to get together. Now, this is me being sentimental now, so I might as well play the piano music as well in the background. But watching that game and getting that result with 2.5 years ago, these Ant and Wolfie were strangers to me. We never met before. But for me, it was like we weren't strangers; we were just brothers that I hadn't met yet. Because to share my experience with those guys, was absolutely the best thing. And I've had a tough week as well with family issues and all that. But what my point is, what I'm going to get to, I've digressed within my digression. Bloody hell! But my point is, after all the suffering that Forest fans have gone through, you've got to enjoy these moments. Like yesterday was an exceptional day, you know, from start to finish was brilliant, you know. So please, guys, make sure you do enjoy these moments, because we've enjoyed the moments because we've endured a lot of rubbish over the last 20, 30 years. So make sure you do enjoy what happened yesterday. I'm out, mate. I'll get a couple of Kleenexes now.
Okay. I mean,
Well, thank God that's over.
Okay.
I didn't quite get. Stay woke, stay woke.
Crypto, I'd rather listen to you than that.
Likewise, Rob. I'd rather listen to you. Look, we should get Ant a Fran shirt with the number 100 on it for the amount of time it takes to bloody Ant.
2 minutes 12 seconds, man. All right. As the chat is saying, we're at 350 likes. Okay,
Hey.
so I can finally tell you what I've been told. And shout out to who's told me. They know who they are.
I was writing this
I don't
quiz.
know. That was another quiz moment, man. That was another Stuart Pearce. Can we have a bit of Barrett? Okay, so tomorrow we'll be doing obviously the transfer deadline stream. I think we're kicking it off about 9. I don't know how busy it's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be any planes landing at East Midlands Airport coming from Scandinavia like last time and then mysteriously disappearing in the night, right? But we'll kick that off tomorrow. Are we expecting transfer activity? Well, at the risk of making none of you turn up tomorrow, there was a meeting on Wednesday at Forest to discuss transfers and where they want to go. Now, what I got told is that Nuno, and this is being driven by Nuno, has said that unless a player is an exceptional player or extremely talented, he is not interested in signing anyone for the sake of, say, bulking out the squad. So the expectation is that Forest are looking in the market, but the signing won't be with all due respect to them from last season, a Ribeiro or a Giorena or something like that. It will have to be something that moves the squad on. Now, that does not mean that we're not going to get a signing, but what it does mean is that the likelihood of that on transfer deadline day is not going to be that great. If I get time, well, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. We'll do the transfer stream. I don't know if we'll do an afternoon video tomorrow, but we'll break into
on the transfer stream. Are we just going to sit here in silence?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I don't know. We'll figure. I know tomorrow, chat. We're going to rely on you. If we get a call from a club, make sure you got your translation books out. God knows if they're going to need another Thomas. Shout out to Thomas as well. We saw him yesterday, looking lean, man, looking lean. Jimenez is a massive no. He's gone to AC Milan. Yeah, as Owen says there.
So and Cunha's signed a new contract, so he's not signing.
Yeah. So but what you get from us is most of the time it's reliable. Remember, players can change their mind. So we told you Cunha's not coming. We also told you that Forest are going to Dubai. And what I got told is it's being paid for by Nuno as well. Be that a hotel or what have you, I don't know. What I got wrong is I got told it'd be after the Southampton game, but clearly this makes more sense in this kind of gap between the cups. Yeah. So, and if we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know. It's like, we could sit here and say, I'd love to sit here and say that Forest is going to be linked to Jonathan David, for example. I think he'd do a great job. Oh, welcome back, mate. Took you that long to sort your camera out?
Oh, man, I've had to reboot my laptop. I picked my camera up and dropped it off the back, down the back of the bloody unit. Then I stood up and knocked my thing over. Then I banged my head on the fucking lamps. I wish it had been on camera.
Don't worry, Ant. You missed Ezra's 2-minute speech, which I would have rather
I thought you'd gone to puke up, bro.
Ezra's a beautiful human being. You leave him alone. He's a beautiful human being.
In a way, as there's a 3-letter word that comes to mind, that speech was. I get what you mean, because it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. But yeah, well, anyway, so that's the transfer update. If I get any more between now and tomorrow, obviously we'll do a video and knock it out. But telling you what's happening, we can't make the news. We can just break it.
And here's my take on it. Don't worry, guys. We'll sign somebody. Come and watch us. We'll be on from 9:30, not 9 o'clock, because there's not that much bloody happening. 9:30, and we're going to sign somebody last minute, and you'll be excited. So come and join us. That's what he
And what
meant
I'll
to say.
say as well
Good job.
is
Good job.
I am hearing noises about Ward-Prowse leaving and potentially Moreno. That will free up 2 loan spots.
Are they not in the Bayern?
Huh?
They're not flown
I
out to
don't know.
Dubai?
I don't know. So anyway, but
No,
nothing's
Nuno
verified.
have to cut the bill down as much as possible. Right, send them back. Now.
Like, only first teamers. You must be over 25, and you must pack your own toothbrush. So yeah, if you're free tomorrow night, come join us. Look, it's Forest. There's going to be something exciting happening,
and there'll be post watershed. So guys, please do join us.
Yeah, we'll make it. If it's dry, we'll make it a semi-membery style stream.
Member stream.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's jump back into the match. So we talked about who do we want to talk about next? I want to talk
Neco.
Alanga.
Okay, on Neco Williams. And look, you've hit the 350. Well done. Let's push on to 400. There's nearly 600 now in the stream. Neco Williams, man. I agree with Anne. I did not notice he had a mask on. I could see he looked like he didn't have one on. I have no idea. Don't worry, Noah. We'll get on to Sangare as well. Rob, Neco Williams. I asked the question the other day on the stream. Who's the most improved player under Nuno? Is it Wood or Neco Williams? What do you think?
Well, I think you have to say Wood. You have to say Wood because he was
terrible. I was hoping you'd say Neco, and that would have led nicely into the Neco discussion.
Sorry, I might have independent ideas.
Well, look, talk on Nuno.
Well, defensively, Williams was fine yesterday, but he did that thing that I really like him doing, which is he went forward, he drifted inside, had that shot that hit the base of the post. I really wish that had gone in. I was glad he got his goal later on. I was certain that his goal was going to be disallowed because I'm not quite sure what you call that move by Sangare.
You call it an assist.
Yeah, it was an assist, wasn't it?
That's what you call it.
There was some...
I think he was fouled though, Rob. I think Sangare.
Possibly. But no, I fair play to him for carrying on and saying I'm damn well having the goal I deserve. Because
Sangare, by the way, Sangare did get the assist for that.
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah,
he officially kept the assist.
He got it.
Allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. The more you interrupt him, the longer he takes. Right?
Am I allowed to say that I actually like the 10-15 minutes we got out of Sangare? I quite like what I saw. Actually,
all right, let's stick to Neco Williams.
Really?
Well, nothing more to say. Nothing more to say about him other than if Moreno wants to go back, he can go back, as far as I'm concerned. Because remember, we said that for the Liverpool away game, Moreno was the one that marked Salah out of the game, but Neco Williams was just as good in the home fixture. So I mean, that's kind of ticked that box for me. I think defensively, fine, but going forward, I think he's far more of a danger than Moreno. If Moreno wants to go back, I don't mind.
Haven't we cup tied both Moreno and Ward-Prowse? Because they played in the last round, didn't they?
Did they play? Moreno played, didn't he?
Moreno definitely played. Yeah.
Ward-Prowse. Yeah, but West Ham are out the FA Cup and the League Cup, so they don't matter.
Okay, yes, it doesn't matter from that point
of view. Villa is still in the FA Cup. I think they got Spurs off the top of my head.
But they got rid of him because they've already got two left backs anyway. So
yeah.
One thing Rob forgot to mention is the outside of the box shot that hit the post from Williams.
I thought I didn't realize it hit the post. I don't think any of us did.
I mean, in fact, I think I would say that unless someone's going to come in and actually give us money for Toffolo, we've got Toffolo as cover, so Moreno should go back. We don't need 3 left backs when Williams is playing that well, and Aina can play left back if he has to. I think we're kind of overpowered in that position. We can.
I have no problem with keeping Moreno because I prefer him to Toffolo as our back.
I'd give.
And I don't
want
to move Aina out of his right back. So for me, it makes perfect sense to keep Moreno.
Yeah, but you need 2 players to cover for Williams?
Yes, because I'm expecting an FA Cup run. I genuinely am. You got to pass. We got to beat Exeter, and then who knows who we get.
Okay, we've still got Moreira that can play on the other side. Aina can come over onto the left. I think that we've got.
You're penny pinching. It doesn't matter. If we can afford to keep him.
No, it's about freeing up slots in the squad.
No, that's what I mean.
That's different. If we're going to get Mamouche on loan, then I'd say move one of them out. Right.
I mean, that's highly unlikely, Ant.
I know.
By the way, did you notice that? You noticed
after his appalling performance today, I don't think he's got a chance of coming to us.
Did you notice that Rashford has now been linked with Villa because they sold
He's gone to
Durant?
Villa.
He's gone
Has
to
he
Villa.
gone? Shit. Oh, right, okay. Well, we
I
dodged the
don't,
bullet
know
there.
what, I don't know what they're doing in that Villa boardroom, but
Yeah.
bloody hell.
Well, they just made 70 million on John Durant. I would have kept Durant, to be honest. In fact, I see that as weakening Villa. I don't
I
think they're
agree.
going to catch us now.
Yeah, it's just weakening Villa.
They're also getting Felix and Disassi from Chelsea. I don't know
Yeah,
what's happened at Villa.
I
man.
can't believe
Yeah,
they're going to
I
get
don't know
the Sassy.
what their
I can't.
recruitment-
I'm hoping he goes to Spurs in that high line. Oh, that'll be fantastic.
Let me ask this question to Crypto. Right? Would you get rid of the low? Let's say Moreno. Would you
No.
send him back to bring in a new centre back?
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, I tell you what, I definitely wouldn't get rid of Moreno ahead of Toffolo because Moreno is 10 times a player of Toffolo. Toffolo would probably be the first on my boot list.
But he's
Now,
on loan.
Hey,
He's on loan. So if you
I don't
want to bring
care.
anyone else in on loan, you have to remove
I don't
one
want
of
to
the
bring anyone
loans.
else on loan. Right, I've had a lot of fun today on Twitter. I upset a lot of people for suggesting that maybe we should replace Omobamidele and bring in another centre back. Now, here's my thoughts on it, and I'll give you the other side of the argument that they put ahead. My thoughts are, if we want to tactically go through at the back like we did yesterday, our main centre backs are Morato, Milenkovic, Murillo, Bolly. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
If one of those was to get injured, not saying they will, and I don't want them to get injured, but you never know what can happen. If one of them gets injured, then you're down to 3 basically centre backs. There's no proper centre back backups on the bench. Now, some people came back to me and said, you've got Abbott, Toffolo could cover at centre back. Someone even said Yates could fall into centre back. If we want to be a top 6 team and push for the Champions League and play in these different European competitions, then we should have a proper coverage at centre back. And that was amongst people. That was amongst
Who are you
people.
suggesting, Crypto? Who are you suggesting?
We have.
I'm suggesting
If
we
you have
bring
to change
in.
your formation and go to two centre backs. That's what you do.
Yes,
That's
I
what
know,
teams do.
but we
You don't
shouldn't have
don't
to-
keep buying loads of players on the off chance that 3 of them might get injured. So you have to bring
No,
in.
but what I'm saying is, can't play 3 at the back.
If he's any good, won't want to come to Nottingham Forest as a reserve centre
Well,
back.
Omobamidele was
agree.
pretty good as a backup.
But he's
Look,
crap, though, mate.
you can't say we'll
He's
just
not
go.
crap.
I can.
He's not
He's
crap.
He's not crap. He was good.
crap.
Omobamidele was a good.
He's nowhere near Premier League.
He's better than Abbott and Toffolo playing at centre back. Right. Let me just
We're
make my
not
point.
talking about Toffolo playing at centre back.
No,
No,
this
this
is-
is-
Let me just answer my question.
Let me just
One
make
at
my
a
point.
time.
Let me just make my point, right? What you're saying there is we'll go 2 at the back. Well, some of the games this season we needed to go 3 at the back to get a victory out of it, to get points out of it. We can't go down the line as a top 6 team and say,
we can't
oh,
go 3
sorry.
at the back because we've got 4 centre backs.
Yeah,
So
but
if one
if
gets
one gets
injured, you can still
injured,
go
you
3 at
can't
the back.
have anyone on the bench. This is my point. If one gets
Yeah,
injured,
but you don't need them on the bench if they're playing.
yeah, but who are you going to sub on? You're going to make them play 90 minutes.
And
we're
you're
taking
missing-
him off the
and-
bench and he's
and
playing.
stop,
So
you're
therefore, we're
missing
going to
his
have another
point.
one on the bench.
You're missing
And if
the
he
point.
comes on, we've got to have another one on the bench. Teams don't. That's not how it works. How many clubs have 5 centre backs?
Exactly.
Quite a
Top
lot that
level
play
centre-
We
3 at
had
the
5
back.
centre backs. We sent one away on loan. We had 5 centre backs. Sent one away on
This is
loan.
my
If you
point,
get
Crypto.
more
Who are
games-
you bringing in?
Them away on loan.
I don't know who you bring in. My point is,
If you're not going to bring in, go
need
on,
more
sorry.
cover.
But if
I
you're not
think
going to
you
bring
need
in
more-
somebody who's better than Omobamidele, what's the point? Because you let
Yes, but we don't know the
Omobamidele
reason.
No, I
Maybe
can
we can go
explain
away
it.
and get more
Right.
football.
Oh, Rob,
I
I
agree
can
with
explain
Crypto.
it.
I agree with Crypto. The reason that it was Omobamidele was let out on loan is he is still our player, and the fact that he's not getting game time is meaning that he's not developing as a player, right?
Mhm.
So he was sent out to be first choice for Strasbourg or whoever. Now, what I agree with
How that
Crypto
works
that
out.
we need another body in that position, because if we're going to keep playing 3-4-3, we're going to be running those defenders into the ground with only one to come on as backup. And if we get an injury there, we're forced with having to play the 4 in a situation where we might have wanted to play the 3. Now, in case of who comes in, who indeed? But the point is, there's going to be some defenders out there, some experienced defenders. It doesn't matter if they're 29, 30, 31 years old, because we're only going to take them on a loan. But somebody who's not getting a game at a big club, and we're going to say, do you want to come in and be cover? You'll probably get a few games here and there. You might get 5 games between now and the end of the season. That will appeal to somebody. But that was not the right
No. It's not if somebody disagrees with me. It's when I get frustrated because they don't understand what I'm saying. All right? Rob, would you be glad to get Marmouche in? I know he's gone to City. Would you be glad to get Marmouche in if it meant we sold Taiwo to West Ham?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's crazy, man. Because what if he gets injured? You've only got Chris Wood, and if he's on the pitch, you need another one on the bench. Can you see what you're doing?
No.
You don't do that.
At the back, you've only got
That's exactly what you're saying. You're saying we've got 3.
One at a time.
We've got 3. We've got 4. We've got 4 centre backs now. If we went to 2 centre backs, that means 2 of those centre backs are on the bench. What you're saying is, well, if those 2 centre backs both get injured and we put those centre backs in, then we're on the bench.
It's not what I'm saying. I'm not what I'm saying.
And you're missing the point, Ant.
I'm not missing the point. Don't say that. I know exactly the point I'm making.
Let me back up Ant to an
5
extent.
top quality centre backs. Nobody. Even Liverpool haven't got 5 top quality centre
Yeah,
backs.
let me back up
Arsenal
Ant
haven't
to
got
an
5 top
extent.
quality centre backs. Nobody has 5. You want us to have 5 top quality centre backs?
That's not what I said.
Bring it out. Stop. One at a time. One at a time. It's gone.
Let me just back up Ant to an extent. Part of what Ant said, I did agree with. Who's going to want to come in and be a backup to a backup? Nobody, right? So we've got rid of what I think is a quality player. I understand what Rob's point, that he does need minutes. So if he's going to get guaranteed minutes at Strasbourg, that's the whole point. And if that happens, 100% I'm behind that. But then to try and bring somebody else in to sit on your bench in case we need cover, I'm just saying, if there is those players out there, like Rob's alluding to, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen those players.
We can link to them.
Amabamidali started the last game away at Rennes.
Who cares? Strasbourg is shit, playing in a shit league. What are you talking
I know,
about,
but
Rob?
the point is, he's now getting...
It's like he's playing for somebody
He's getting experience in the French First Division that he would not be getting playing in... We don't even have reserves anymore, right?
I mean, pleased with that. But,
and we were happy to do it. Nuno was happy to do it.
That's fine. That for his development, and that's fine.
No, because no
wonder everybody had a go at your crypto. No wonder everybody thought you were crazy.
I'm saying 3 at the back. We have 1 cover position.
Stop getting on the back.
We're not playing 3 at the back.
If you have 3 at the back, you have 1 on the bench. You don't have 2 on the bench.
Yeah.
But if someone gets injured,
hang on.
All right, enough.
That's enough. Because if one of those
that's enough. Right, muting you all. Okay. All muted. All right. What?
That's all right there.
This is quite funny. Everyone's muted except for me. I have the power back. They're all okay. Hi, chat. Back to me and you again. Should we get back to the back?
Ant's rage quit.
Rage quit. Anyway, so on the poll, 51% of you say, 52% of you say no, we don't need a centre back. 48% said yes, we do need a centre back.
Can I just give a shout out to Matt from Forest All Over? I told him. He said, "There's no way you're going to be arguing tonight." I said, "Yeah, we'll find a way."
It is a question. Anyway, let's move back on. So, is this game, boys? This is the next kind of part of it I want to talk about. Is this game because who did we play? Brighton. Because Brighton played into our hands, okay, a little bit. Yeah. Would you expect going forward to the Fulham game that we're going to see a similar style, or do you expect Nuno to change it up again, maybe go to a back 4 and what have you? Because I don't think Marco Silva will be as naive as whatever the hell the Brentford manager's name is. Yeah. The Brighton, manager's name is. So are we going in with maybe a little bit too high expectations, giddy from a 7-0? How do you think the next few games play out, boys? Because we've got Fulham, Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal. I think that's the right order.
I mean, the benefit is we have got a bit of a gap between that now and that Fulham game, and I don't expect too many first teamers to be involved in the Exeter FA Cup game. So this is a chance, obviously, for them to have that little break in Dubai and get refreshed. And I think it's a good opportunity for Nuno to. Hopefully there will be some action tomorrow, but let's say there isn't. With what we've got, Nuno's realized that he has got options. He has got several different formations he can deploy. What I'd like to start seeing Nuno do is when in game things aren't going right to make those changes, because I don't think he's been proactive enough. He hasn't been proactive enough in certain games. So let's see what the test is. But Fulham will be a test. I don't expect I'm not really expecting 3 points, and I kind of say right now I'd probably be happy to come back from there with a draw. Even they're a little bit of a bogey team to us as well, but the momentum that we're taking into that game has got to count for something. Just a slight worry is that gap between the games, but that's what also could be a beneficial thing and give Nuno that much needed time with the players. But we have got a difficult run coming up, and this is what we need to be judging ourselves on. Yesterday was maybe a fluke in a way in terms of how easy it ended up being, but it's something we can certainly take a lot of credit from, a lot of confidence from, and the players have just got to realize that we're in this fight now, and we've got a gap now between, what is that, 6 points clear of Man City. You got to look at that. And yes, they'll say they're not looking at the table, but every single one of them is. And we've got to take inspiration from that, 100%.
I've stared at that table for hours. I do want to ask that point. I've just got to catch up on some super chats. We got 1865 Red with the £2. Thank you, bro, so much. He says 2 great Andersons on the pitch yesterday. Yes, because Viv was on at half time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I couldn't quite hear what he was saying though. He was talking about a certain player. I didn't catch which player it was. Did you not hear it? The chat one. Yeah, he was praising him.
I can hear him. The people next to me were talking back and forth across roads.
If you were there, let us know. Who else? Thank you so much, bro. And Jota with the 25 months as well. You absolute legend. 25 months, man. I was 21 back then. Crazy how much time has gone on. Thank you so much, bro. So just looking at the table, boys. Right, as it stands, I've got it up here. Should I bring it up? So bring it up. They'll fiddle with it, because I think it's now getting to the stage of the season where we can start to dissect it a bit, where people can't say to us, yo, you're gonna fall away and what have you. This is as we stand right now. Okay. So Forest a third. We are now. Can everyone read that? Should I try and make it a little bigger? I don't know if
it's more.
Yeah, just zooming in the top 5, mate. That's all we're concentrated on.
Let's do like that.
I don't know.
Okay, that's
dangerous below.
Right. So, as it stands, for those listening on the podcast later, Liverpool on 56.6, clear of Arsenal, who are on 50. We're on 47, and Man City are now 6 points behind us after getting that big L to Arsenal. Newcastle are level with them. And then there's a point gap to Chelsea, who play tomorrow. So let's not forget, if they beat West Ham, they can go to 43 points and actually jump themselves back into 4th position. And then you start to see a gap after probably Bournemouth, because Villa took an L to Wolves. Where are you drawing the cutoff line here, Rob? If let's not talk about a title race right now. Okay, let's
very
talk
good
about
question.
A top
very
5
good question.
race. Where's your cutoff in chat? Same question to you. What's the last team you would say is in a, let's call it top 4, top 5 race, whatever. So go on, Rob.
Yeah, very good question. I was wondering exactly this earlier. I think we've seen Brighton off now, but I still think anyone down to Fulham could potentially catch us, and which is why it's important that we beat Fulham and, if you like, sort of remove them from inquiries. There's still a lot of games to go. There's still 15 games to go. I can't see Brighton making up 14 points to catch us and suddenly becoming amazing, especially if they're about to sell Mitoma anyway. So I don't know. I think Brighton are gone now. I don't think they can catch us. Fulham could, especially if they were to beat us. So
and Rob, on that Brighton point, I think just to double up on what you're saying, Rob.
Fulham just won away at Newcastle. Fulham are incredibly inconsistent, right?
Exactly.
They're really, and they're one of these teams that can beat anybody on their day or lose. I mean, they lost at home to Man United, and then they went and won at Newcastle. So, I mean, the most dangerous player, I think, in the Fulham team is Iwobi. If Aina can keep him quiet, I think we've got more quality than them all over, and we should be going for a win in that game because the 3 games after it are horrible. So I don't want to concede any ground before we go into those 3 games. But I would say that the risk window this early on still goes all the way down to Fulham. But if we were to win at Fulham, I think we could potentially put them in the rear view mirror. I think Villa.
I think you're far too negative, mate. I think you're far too negative.
No, come on.
Can I just add a point before you jump in, Ez?
There's still 14 games to go, Ez. There's still
absolutely. And look at the form. Look at the form. The form table is there as well.
You can't be ruling people like Villa out.
But yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. No. Every time they play a European game, they lose the following league game. So you can rule those kind of teams out.
So where are you cutting off, Ez? Where are you cutting off?
Chelsea. I need Potter to go back to Chelsea tomorrow and get 3 points. That's what I want to see. I want to maintain that gap with the 6th place. That's all I'm bothered about. The top 5. I am not worried about any teams below that. The result yesterday, I wanted Liverpool to win because I wanted to stop Bournemouth in their tracks. That would have been 12 games unbeaten for them, I think, or something like that. They missed some chances yesterday. Liverpool were a little bit lucky. I think the penalty was slightly dubious.
Man, did you see that one?
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I really thought Bournemouth deserved to win that, but the Clivert miss was just absolutely horrific.
That boiled my blood. He bangs one in from 25 yards against us and can't miss.
And people say that Forest have been lucky this season. Liverpool were lucky yesterday. They got away with a lot of gilt-edged chances from Semenyo as well. I think he hit the post. They had a couple of shots off the post, and like you said, that open goal miss from Clivert was shocking. Yeah, and the penalty was very soft because that one angle that they're showing, he's tripped himself up. It doesn't actually show that connection to me, but anyway, that's enough said about them. So I'm not looking any further down than Chelsea.
You're seriously down as far as Chelsea?
Yeah, I think we've been so consistent. And Rob said it. Those other teams are inconsistent. Yes, they can beat anybody, and we know any team in that league can beat anybody. But the reason why the top 5 are the top 5, or the top 3, should I say, really, is a consistency. We've been far more consistent than anybody else, and I think alluded to it after the last show.
Dan's not allowed to speak yet.
No, not yet. Okay, but some of the that run of bad results that we've had, which I think was the worst run we've had, where we lost to Newcastle, Arsenal, and Man City. Look how we responded from that, going on a 10-game unbeaten league and cup run, and winning.
Look at our next 5 games as they're pretty tasty.
But this is what I mean. We can respond. What our results against the top half teams or top 8 teams have been poor in the first half of the season, but we're playing them all at home. It's every opportunity to get some points back. We've got key players coming back. We didn't touch enough on Sangare because I think I would actually be starting him in the next league game against Fulham because I think that's the kind of game we need him. But Fulham aren't a bogey team. It's with a manager. He's a bogey manager for me. And
we beat him 3-1.
I know we did. But I still think there's times when he gets the better over Nuno. So it could be a tight one. That's why I said I'd take a draw from that game. But
I'm not quickly add 2 things after Ez? Can I quickly add 2 things?
Jump in now, bro.
What makes me hopeful about these 3 games? You remember we had exactly the same run back in, was it November? It was like Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal. What makes me hopeful now is that 2 key players, Gibbs-White and Elanga, are now both really playing far, far better than they were when we played those 3 in sequence before. So I think we are currently now better than we were when we went through that sequence. The other thing that gives me hope for the Fulham game is if you're Marco Silva, and we know he's a great manager, a great tactician, but he's looking at us now thinking he's absolutely no idea what formation Forest are going to turn up and play. Are we going to play the 4-2-3-1? Are we going to play the 3 at the back? So it's nice now that we have some serious tactical ambiguity going into that game, and there's going to be a lot of second guessing for Silva, and I think that gives us a bit of an edge because we know how they will set up. We know they're going to set up with Traore on one side and Iwobi on the other, Smith Rowe in the middle, and the Mexican guy up front, not the other Jimenez, right? So we know what we get with them, and they're a competent team. And like I say, they can beat anybody on the day. But I think
Our record's not great at Craven Cottage. That's what worries me, honestly.
Yeah, and they can lose to anybody on that. Last game I saw them was against the Ipswich, where they were really bad and really good all within the game. So, all right, Rob, sorry, as you're saying 6th, Ben, where are you cutting off here?
I mean, I don't know how you can say 6th without saying 7th because we're on the same points.
It's
I know,
boring mouth, mate.
I know they've got a game in hand.
I
know they've got a game in hand, but they're on the same points. So I'd probably say 7th, but realistically, you know, we're 7 points ahead of them. If we lose that difference, then it's shame on us, really. I think we'll finish in Champions League place. I don't see why we can't now. But I mean,
title, so you're downgrading from your title.
Mathematically, you could go down to about 11th or 12th, but realistically, the only people who are going to catch us are probably Bournemouth onwards.
I don't think you can go that far. I think the point I was going to make earlier was, had Brighton beaten us, I think me and Ez were talking about this before the game, that would have been a 7-point gap between. I think that's right, wasn't it, Ez? Yeah. That would have brought them right back into it. So we've killed them off.
Yeah,
I think in that opinion.
Next.
And if we do that with Fulham, exactly, we can knock them off one at a time.
But Fulham it still leaves an 8-point gap, and that's like with our goal difference, that's 3 wins for them to overtake us. That's
what is the gap to Fulham? 9 points.
At the moment, they're 11 points behind us, mate.
Oh, it's 11. My maths is terrible.
Yeah,
11.
Yeah.
So if we do the same again, it puts it to 14 then.
Yeah, they're gone. They're in the dust.
Yeah.
And we owe them one. We owe them one because they stole a win at the City ground. I know we played badly, but they shouldn't have had all.
It was Nuno's one bad tactical game. Yeah. All right, let's bring him back in, but he only comes back in because he reads Chris's super chat. So Ant, this one's for you.
Yeah, I know that's true. I've said on many occasions that.
No, read it out.
Read it out.
Danilo was always 6 for Palmeiras.
And also shout out Chris and shout the amount.
Oh, cheers, Chris, for your cheers, Chris, for your. Yeah, I'm not used to reading super chats out. And not only that, I've got these stupid glasses on, so it's hard for me to see. And they're on because.
What is that?
Because when I took a break a minute ago, Crypto punched me in the eye backstage. That's why these are on. I'm telling you.
Chris, thank you for the £2.
I did put my Palmeiras shirt on, by the way.
You did.
Just for you, Chris, he did that. Thank you so much for the £2, and he is right on that. All right, and so let's bring your take on this. Where are you seeing the cutoff in this league table?
I'm going to go slightly different to the rest of the guys. I'm going to go with not necessarily. Thank you. Yeah, it's hard to concentrate. I'll freeze it on this one and go on this one. Shut up. No, see me talking to Ez, look, and Ez's going, yeah, I can see it. And I try again, look, and I try again.
Where's your cutoff, Ant?
About 2 minutes 14, isn't it?
Oh, there's this grin on his face. I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see me, by the way. There's Lewis McGugan strolling past.
Oh, by the way, Neil's right. Shout out to the dude at the back who just came out. I was like, you read?
Yeah. It was a good lad. Yeah.
Go on.
It's 2 minutes 12. I've been assured it's 2 minutes 12.
It is 2 minutes 12.
I just whispering to me again. I'll probably have another little go at trying to get away. And poor
you know what? That's fairly off. Go on.
Okay.
Is he cut off?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go slightly different. I'm gonna look at realistically. I don't think that Fulham. I know that if you look at points, I'm not doing that. I don't think there's any chance that Fulham are going to catch up with us for the rest of the season. I don't think they're not good enough. They're too inconsistent. They're not there. Villa, I think they've blown it. And especially as they've got more Champions League coming up, I don't think they're going to catch us. I'm not even looking at how many points below us are. Bournemouth, I don't think Bournemouth are going to finish above us this season. I know they're having a cracking little few games, but I don't think they're going to do it. They're not good enough.
And they just
so now we get on to the really important ones. I think Man City, if we beat Man City in this upcoming home game, I think that does it. I think we'll finish above them. That's 9 points. And they're so inconsistent. I don't think they're going to catch up, 9 points over the rest of the season. I don't think they're going to do it. Newcastle United, they were the ones I was frightened about, but their last 2 home games have shown that they are by no means invincible. And we're going up there pretty soon. And if we can do them at their place, that's them done, as far as I'm concerned. So it's getting quite exciting, isn't it? So, yeah, I reckon... what was the question?
Where's your cutoff for the 9th time, man? My God, you moan at Rob.
I don't know what you mean. Sorry, I don't know.
It's like, who are you looking over your shoulder at? Which team?
I'm looking over my shoulder.
All right, and let me rephrase it. Who's still in a Champions League race?
Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea.
Why did you hesitate on Man City?
Because they got stuffed 5-1 to a very poor attacking side today. That's why. I kind of,
we need to ask Lemmy. We'll get Lemmy back on for that.
They have definitely lost that air of invincibility. I think we can beat them when they come down our ground. I really do. Because they're going to play like they play. They're blunt. They've got, if Haaland doesn't get, if one of his 4 touches a game doesn't go in, then they're pretty easy to frustrate. And they score. And their defense is dreadful, man. Dreadful. And we're good on the break. So why not?
In that 5th to 9th, it is interesting because you've taken it off now, but in that 5th to 9th, there's nobody with a row of W's, is there? They're all inconsistent. Yeah. So there was a point where Newcastle was that threat and you just felt like they were absolutely unstoppable. Yeah. But then they've gone back to the sort of form they had at early on in the season. And then there was a point where Bournemouth looked unstoppable, and then they've just lost at home. No idea what that's going to do for their confidence. They've still got that injury list. So looking at it positively, I couldn't pick one out for a mid to late surge. But I think we probably need to look at it again in about 6 games' time and look at it, Rob. Look at it in 6 games' time, because somebody might string a few results together and start to look like a new contender. There's still a lot of time to go.
Yeah, but I think one thing. What else is? Go on.
Well, very, very quick. Bizarrely, what might undo Bournemouth is their players coming back. I know it sounds ridiculous, but at the moment they've got about 6 first-teamers out. And as they try to reintroduce them back up, that could just upset them, couldn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So,
like I said, I mean, the Liverpool result actually did help us, and it's halted their 12-game unbeaten run. But what we're overlooking is all these teams having cup games and some important cup games. I think that's what's happened to Newcastle. I think they've taken their eye off the ball with the league because they're so determined to get some silverware this season. We've got a massive League Cup semi-final coming up this week, isn't it? So you got to bear that in mind, and that's going to play a part, especially with the Champions League teams for the next few game weeks. So that will play a part, and it's a good chance for Forest to actually get some momentum in these next few games and get that gap that we've got at the moment, and just maintain, if not maintain it, increase it, because we closed down the gap to Liverpool over that 9-game unbeaten run, 10-game unbeaten run. Let's increase the gap now between us and 6th place. And like I said, I'm not looking any further over my back than Chelsea. If Chelsea get a positive result tomorrow, Chelsea get a positive result tomorrow, they're still in it, massively in it. Obviously, they get some back into the Champions League.
Sorry to interrupt you. If Chelsea lose tomorrow, are you ruling them out?
Not ruling them out, but I'm happy that they're not going to catch us. They're still in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not that they won't get Champions League, but overtaking us.
They won't overtake us. Yeah, that's what I'm worried. I'm looking for top 3 for Forest, minimum top 3 for Forest, like 30 years. I think
everybody agrees. The main thing is if we can keep a decent run going till the end of the season, we're there. We've done all the hard work in some respects.
18 points, baby. 18 points.
Yeah, 18 points.
Let's I just seen the time, we've been going for ages. All right, let's wrap up with this question. And after the 7-0 and everything else, and shout out, look, we could have talked about every player individually. I'll say, and I'm sure I'll speak on behalf of the guys, I thought to a man they were all outstanding. Outstanding, including the subs, including Nuno's tactics and everything. With that in mind, let's do a man of the match. Let's do a man of the match one. So go on, Ben. Who was your man of the match yesterday?
I mean, for me, it was Morgan Gibbs-White. I just thought his playmaking yesterday and the way he the way he was passing, you know, balls out left, right, and centre, tracking back was phenomenal. I think it's the best game he's had this season. But like you say, there's so many you could pick from: Elanga, Wood, Neco, Williams, Murillo. I mean, you could literally name the whole team. But I think because I hold Morgan Gibbs-White in a slightly higher caliber, I think yesterday he proved how good he is.
Okay, and as Carol says, we're on 414 likes. Can we get to a big 450 here? It'd be fantastic if we could. Okay. And after this, I got a favor to ask you guys in the chat. I need your help on something in just a second. Rob, what are you saying? Who is your man of the match?
I think marginally, you still have to give it to Wood. I mean, I know he makes scoring look easy, but it isn't. And those third and fourth goals is what killed them off, I think, because and he scored them. Yeah, he put them both away really nicely. You know, he was the tip of the spear. So you've got to give it to him. You can't not give it to someone that scored a hat-trick. However well Elanga played, Wood was there and he did the business. And I like he took the penalty really coolly as well. He's actually sent the keeper the wrong way and then just tapped it in, basically. Really nice pen. Really nice pen. A lot of pressure on that because he obviously wanted that hat-trick. So, you know, it's got to be Wood. It's got to be Wood.
Ez?
For me, Elanga, I thought he was an absolute menace to them yesterday, all over the pitch. I think he played 90 minutes as well, so his energy levels were fantastic. I alluded to his last 10, 15 minutes. He was very much part of those last few goals we scored, and his link-up with Chris Wood has been unbelievable. The form he's on is better than what he did, the purple patch he had last season. Let's just hope it continues all the way through to the end of the season. But for me, Elanga was unplayable yesterday.
Nicky, you weren't, because Mark was on it from 9. So nice try. Nice try on that. And who's yours?
I can't disagree with what anybody said. I think they're all valid candidates. I'm going to go for Anthony Elanga because I thought he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. But that doesn't mean that I don't think any of the others are any less deserving. The one player we've not mentioned that I also think should be in there, very underestimated in a 7-0 win, is Matt Sells, because he pulled out some absolute top class saves at vital times. Had any of those gone in, well, up until 4-0, let's say, then it could have been a very different game. And he's, I mean, talk about most improved players. He's got to be up there.
Yeah, he is.
He's just superb. I mean, it's so nice, isn't it, to have that confidence in your keeper that we've not had for quite a while. It's so nice. You can relax. And he's doing what we all wanted him to do now, and that's pull out those spectacular saves. So I'm going to say Elanga, but you know, I just thought he deserved a word.
And
Elanga was mine. Go on.
Was he?
I'll just say Nico Williams.
Again. No, you talk about Neco. Wolf, you talk about Neco. Go on.
I've been really impressed with his progression. I really have. And we were saying, I remember last 5 minutes to go, all three of us are like, I'd love him to score a goal today just for his performance. And in a way, I almost, this is going to sound weird, but if he didn't score a goal, he still needed the praise. I don't want the goal to overwrite the praise that he is due for his performance, if that makes sense, Gunners.
And it's just not just his improvement, but his consistency. Yeah, like I said, first name on a team sheet for me, but that's because of his level has been just up there. He's keeping out a very good left back, and a left-footed left back. He's keeping out of that position, and he's made that position his own right now. Whether it's as a wing back, like we saw yesterday, or as a left back, he's definitely making it an easy selection for Nuno at the moment. In that position.
I watched the highlights back again last night. And some of the pundits were saying that they walked past Forest dressing room after full time and that they don't know of another dressing room in the league that is like the Forest one at the moment. And I think that is going to mean something for the rest of the season.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. It shows as well, doesn't it? It shows when
you don't get a reaction.
I mean, look at the likes of Manu and Tottenham with the I'm guessing they can't stand each other because the way they play on the pitch, they look like they can't.
Or the managers.
Most teams will lose games this season, and a few teams will get battered like we did last week. But to respond the way they did yesterday shows everything that's right with our club at the moment. What Nuno and his backroom team are doing. There was a photo that they put out, around celebrating with MGW, and you just saw everybody involved, and you know that every single one of those people is involved in what's happening at Forest, and it's going well. And like I say, yesterday was the perfect response. I've never seen recovery like that from a battering.
And I think it's exemplified. The spirit's exemplified by Willy Bolly. I mean, he hardly gets a game, he hardly gets a kick, but when he's needed, he's there and he's pumped up, and you can tell it means something to him.
Yeah, he was itching to get on, wasn't he? We thought he was going to come on sooner, but he came on and it was like no difference. Just take one.
And on Murillo,
Moreno as well.
I've heard that it's a dead leg, so I don't think it's serious. I haven't got it verified. I'll just say it. But
and there's enough of a break between now and the Fulham game for them. I don't expect too many first teamers to be involved in Exeter. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say what I've heard is it's a dead leg and there are no concerns. That's what I've heard. So.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a slight favor to ask you guys. So our mate Carlos has started a channel. He's live now. I want to go and surprise him and invade him. We'll do an FFT invasion, but I want you guys to absolutely troll him. I want everyone to chuck a clown emoji in his chat, or just write Carlos the clown.
There already,
because that's what Marinacas
Marinacas
on Twitter. Yeah. So if you could do me a massive favor, this will chuck you straight there. He's only on 7 subscribers, right? And he's doing crap right now. I'm watching him in the background there. I'm going to go in and troll him as well. So
how many viewers has he got?
He's got 1 person watching, so I want to scare the crap out of him, right? Okay. But be trolly. Don't be there and be nice, right? Call him Carlos the Clown, or put a clown emoji in there. He'll know. He'll know it's in reference to Marinacas Jr. One of those, John. Exactly one of those. And subscribe to him. He's on 7 subscribers. He's just started a channel. He's doing rubbish on FIFA, man. I want to play him, man. Absolutely batter him. But go and scare him, and let's put him off and make him lose this game. So we'll be back tomorrow with the live transfer day deadline. Probably kicking off about 9 o'clock around then. I'll let you know. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Forest 1-7. It's 7th heaven right now. Go and troll Carlos right now. I'm sending you there in 3, 2, 1. Come on.
You're it.